Hey print shops, we added over $60,000 to one of our clients. His testimonial is on this page, but in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly what we did to help him grow his business. So the first things first, we had to establish baseline metrics. And what baseline metrics mean is what is the performance of the business right now? And we have to dial in the KPIs and metrics. So the original metrics that we looked for is how many leads are we generating every single day right now without doing whatever you're doing. And then second is how many quotes are we generating out of those leads? And then out of those quotes, how many are closing? That's it. Everything else is information overload. If you look at Ink Launch's metrics right now, we have crazy dashboards that give us every single metric about our business. But if you spend all your time building out all these metrics, it's gonna waste your time. So right off the bat, we went into his business and all we wanted to do was get enough data so that we can start making decisions. The data that we needed to know was how many leads are you currently getting, and out of all those leads, how many of those leads actually become quotes? Out of all those quotes, how many end up paying you? Because if your system currently works, you don't need us. And that's what we want to check right off the bat. If you have a system that's working really, really well, just keep on running it. So our client here, he had no way of getting leads. The leads that he did get were very sporadic. If he got a lead from Google, he wouldn't know where they came from. So what we wanted to do was we installed Google Analytics onto their page, and we also installed something called Hotjar. What Hotjar does is it shows you the behavior of the visitor on their website. Now, the reason why we do this is because we want to split test the conversion rate, theirs versus ours, and what the leads do when they get onto the website. So first things first, we established basic marketing and sales KPIs out of the leads that are generated, the marketing side, how many of those leads actually end up paying, which is the sales side. Next, what we did was we established tracking onto the pages. So on the website now, we can now tell if they're actually getting quotes from their website, and we can know where did those leads come from. Now, the reason why we do that is because some shops that we work with, they have a weird source of traffic, which is sometimes a good thing. So if you're getting a steady flow of traffic onto your page, the next thing we want to look at is out of that traffic, how many of those guys request a quote? And that's why we install Hotjar right after Google Analytics. Hotjar tells you again exactly what the user does on your website. So you can see the mouse moving on the website, and we can see what happens when they come onto your website and see if they're actually clicking on request a quote, what they're reading, or are they going straight down to the results, or are they looking at the services? Now, once we have those two things established, what we did next was we did an audit of their past client list. Most shops, they never talk to their past client list, and they just hope and pray that their clients come back and order more stuff. What we recommend is every 30, 60, 90 days, there's another promotion that goes out to your past customer list. On top of that, the account manager should check in with all the clients that they sold. Now, what we did was we broke down their customer list. We looked to see when was the last time we talked to them, and more importantly, who were the most profitable customers. And we noticed a trend. He thought his most profitable customers was a school. But what we found was he had a lot of success with construction companies. So the tradesmen who are plumbers, drywallers, landscape, hardscape, all that kind of stuff, we noticed that they did really, really well with this. So what we decided to do and what we recommended for our clients was let's go after the clients who generate you the most money. Once we establish a solid flow of leads, solid flow of traction, then we'll open up the gates and try other niches. But what we want to do right now is dial in who we're going after. And the reason why we do that is because if you go to the mall and you say, hey, what's up, man? Nobody turns around. But if you say, hey, what's up, John? All the Johns turn around. That's how we approach Facebook ads. So the next thing that we did was we started crafting ads, and we also dove really deep into the targeting. So when we run Facebook ads for a new customer, we typically do two things. We have open targeting, so Facebook chooses the targeting, and we have a lookalike audience. So the Facebook targeting, if we're going after contractors, Facebook will look at the ad and use its AI to see who it should target to. So I'll read the copy, I'll look at the image, and it'll deliver this ad in front of construction companies, if that's who we're going after. So that's ad set one, that's targeting one. The second targeting, what we do for our clients is we look up or we scrape a bunch of data. So we scrape 4,000 emails of their ideal prospect. So what we did was we went on Apollo.io, we scraped a list of 4,000 emails, 4,000 construction companies that have 20 to 50, 20 to 100 plus employees. We scraped that list and we uploaded it to Facebook. So we created a lookalike audience on Facebook, and we told told Facebook to go find me people who look like this list. Next, we created ads. Every single ad spoke very specifically to the construction companies. Since we did this, their lead cost went from they don't know what their lead cost was to we were getting $2 to $3 cost per lead. So every $3 they spent, they got a construction company inquiring about custom apparel on Facebook. So the reason why we do it this way is because we want to be very specific at first, just to get the flow in the door. Next, our conversion rate from lead opt-in to actually requesting a quote was around 38%. That's pretty good. But the reason why it was around 38% was because we installed a nurturing process. The nurturing process is very simple. It was 6 days of text messages. So as soon as they opt in, we wait 4 minutes and then they get a text message. And they get a text message every single day for the next 6 to 7 days. Now, we recommend doing it even longer, but for time's sake, that's all we built out. Next, they also get emails every day. But the biggest difference that we brought into this was we had them call the leads right away. We installed a tracker called the Speed to Lead Tracker. And this tells us how fast or how long does it take for the client, the screen print shop, to reach out to the leads. Now we can see if our clients are actually calling the leads in a certain amount of time. So on average, we want to stay underneath 5 minutes per lead. So every time a new lead comes in, we want to reach out to them within the first 5 minutes. Because if you can imagine, if you click on an ad today, try to request a quote for custom apparel, and it takes you 3 days before you get a quote, you're probably not going to want to get that quote anymore. On the flip side, if you reach out to the company and you get someone to call you within 2 minutes to ask you about your custom apparel, walk you through X, Y, and Z, chances are you're probably going to close that job and get the deal just because you responded to them first. Now, the second thing here was their sales team was essentially non-existent. So what we did was I gave them the scripts that we use at our print shop. The scripts are very, very simple. Now, you might be thinking, hey, it's custom apparel, it's screen printing, it's not that complicated of a sale. And you're correct. But if you look at all your conversations of clients that you've closed or you sold to, the conversation is very similar. And for you to bring in a new salesperson into your business, what we have to do is we have to train them on sales, because they don't understand the industry. The fastest way to do that is, hey man, these are the words, read the words off this paper. And that is what the script does. So once we installed the script, all we had to do was send them a notification as soon as a lead opted in. When a lead opted in, they got a text message. After they got that text message, they were instructed to call the lead as soon as possible. Just for adding a lead generation source for us to get leads in the door, and we installed the Speed to Lead Tracker so that way the owner of the company can know how fast his team is reaching out to the leads. That's how we're able to increase revenue to this company. So these are the main things that we did. First, we established a baseline. All we want to know is how many leads you're getting right now. Out of those leads, how many requested quote? Out of those, how many actually sold? Those are the only metrics you need to know right off the bat. After that, we want to know who's the most profitable client. Okay, now we know who that is. Then we write all the ads, we write the copy, and we create the ads and the copy. We upload it to Facebook. We run one ad that is straight Facebook targeting. Let Facebook's AI do its thing. And then we also scrape a list of 4,000 emails of their ideal avatar. We create a lookalike audience into Facebook. We tell Facebook, hey, these are the people I'm trying to go after. Can you go after them for me? So now we have 2 ad sets of ads specifically going for a single person. So instead of saying, hey, custom apparel, get more information here, we were like, hey, plumbers, X, Y, and Z. Like, it's very specific. After that, the lead cost was $2 to $3. But it's not enough to just get cheap leads. We have to teach the clients how to sell, otherwise the clients will not be successful. Now, the word sales is usually looked at as a very negative connotation. All you have to do is replace sales with helping. We need somebody to help these leads get to the finish line because they want custom apparel. They don't know what shirts to get. And now we trained our sales team on how to guide these guys to the finish line. But to do that, all we had to do was install a very basic nurturing process. They get a text message, they get an email every single day, and the team gets notified as soon as there is a new lead for the team to contact and call the leads. And for the business owner, we're able to report how long it takes for his sales team to contact their leads. And we told them baseline should be under 5 minutes. As long as you stay under 5 minutes, the chances of you becoming successful are very high. The final steps to doing all of this is installing a follow-up process. So like you and I probably know, not everybody buys right away. Most of the sales come in the follow-up. So what we do is we bring in these guys, as in we bring in the client's sales team to come in and contact leads. Once they're doing that consistently, We then introduce them the follow-up scripts. This is how you follow up with the leads, and we want to follow up with value every single time. If the sales rep says, hey, I'm just following up on the quote, that is a lazy sales rep. So all we do instead is we add in value every single time. So for example, instead of, hey, just following up on this quote, we say, hey, John, I noticed that this quote was sent over. There's actually a sale going on S&S Activewear, and I'd love to pass the savings over to you. Is this of any interest to you and your company? If there's no response there, you say, hey John, I just spoke to my boss and I was trying to get you some free shipping. Would this be helpful at all to you guys? After that, hey John, I was on your guys' website. I think we can do different logos here. Could I send you over some different designs? Stuff like that makes a huge difference. But if we taught the sales team that all at once, it's too much information and it's overflow. So all we do instead is we teach one step at a time until they can get it down really, really well. All we have to do here is get leads for cheap and have the sales team contact them in under 5 minutes. After that, follow the words on this paper and then follow up with them until they pay. And then we also taught them something called the assumptive close. So you assume the close, and all that means is you just assume they're gonna buy. So in another video, we go over our sales script, our sales process. But this, in a nutshell, is exactly what we did for our client, and you can see their testimonial down below.